welcome along to the Project Cars 2 Virtual Racing League, where you join us today for another round of the Ginetta GT5 and Ginetta Junior MultiClass Championship. We've been going a while now, so I think it's round 10. Yeah, it is, round 10, Sonoma Short, coming your way today. Very hilly course, actually, 160 feet of elevation. So by far the hilliest circuit I think we've had on the calendar, so it could provide quite a lot of entertainment, especially with how the action has been in this championship so far. And last time out at Texas as well was a pretty good race. If you haven't seen it, definitely recommend going back and watching that, even though it's pretty much an oval track. But anyway, the driver's standings is Chris Doherty leading the way by just a single point from Alex CDL. Those two have been racing on the league a while and they've both won championships, so I think it's a pretty fierce fight to the finish for those two. But don't count out Free Gazelle, Sabrosa and Big Bad Wolf, they're not far behind, and Stalker Brown and Cherryberry having a good little battle there as well. So that's the GT5s, and then on the right there you've got the juniors. Stuart Davis leading the way with 4 points over Scuderia Sam, so that's a fantastic little battle going on too between the two karting teammates in real life as well. They've raced each other a lot. And then Luke McGee, D-Man and Roger the Dodger having a really good little scrap in the midfield there. Team standings, it's Team Spin leading the way. They extended their lead last time over Team Island, so it'll be interesting to see whether Team Island can claw back some ground. With only 2 rounds left to go, all these championships are really coming to the pivotal point of the season and can't afford to lose any more ground. So with Sabrosa and McGee, Team Notmates and Free McEvs and Crash and Bash there as well, not far behind. So let's have a little look at the starting grid, Alex.
Thank you, Sam, and pole position for GT5 is Chris Doherty with a 1:22.3. Just a tenth of a second ahead of his championship rival Alex in second. And Stalker Brown with an excellent third from Sabrosa, Wolf from Free Gazelle, and taking junior pole is Roger the Dodger from Scuderia Sam, D-Man and Loopy McGee.
Thank you, Alex. It was extremely close actually in qualifying between the front runners here, so it's going to be, promises to be an excellent race. Chris Doherty, we can see on the start line, and away they go now. Chris Doherty just about gets the lead, I think, from Stalker Brown. Stalker Brown's looking on the inside though, he's had a good start as well. Which comes the outside as they go up the hill now. So turn 1 and 2 goes really far up the hill here, and you got the two blue cars there, scrapping away Scuderia Sam and Luke McGee, I think it was, they're back down to 12th and 13th, so a bad start from those two as Chris leads the way. He's extended his advantage up the hill there, so go through the sweeping corners now, up the hill again. You can see how hilly this track is, over that little curb which is very susceptible to catching people out there as they head over that now. Oh, and yeah, as I say there, oh, and over and over. That's Big Bad Wolf and Free Gazelle having a huge crash together there. Big Bad Wolf carries on his way in that yellow machine, but Free Gazelle's still facing the barrier. Let's hope he gets on his way again soon. Alex CDL using all the track and a bit more there on the entry to the last part of this circuit, which goes through these really fast sweeping corners. Alex CDL's in second, just past Stalker Brown, and we look at Twingo Tastic now, Stalker Brown's teammate in the juniors there. Twingo Tastic's had a really good start, he's up to 9th, fantastic from Twingo Tastic there. You'll have to keep eyes on him, see what he does. Scuderia Sam, meanwhile, is back up to 10th after Big Bad Wolf and Free Gazelles coming together. But Alex CDL, look, he's absolutely on a hunt here, he's on a charge on this opening lap. As they head down into the last corner, you can see it's a very tight hairpin, so it really promotes overtaking. Oh, Chris Doherty's overcooked it, he's gone a bit wide, and Alex CDL doesn't need a second invitation. Already, he's overtaken Chris Doherty, so fantastic first lap from Alex, and Chris really needs to stay with him now, and down we go now into the last corner against the Scuderia Sam on the outside of Big Bad Wolf in the GT5 making his way through. Scuderia Sam in the blue car there. Oh, and coming together there, being sandwiched a bit by a couple of cars. I think it might have been, was it McEvs maybe involved there, and maybe Free Gazelle as well, actually recovering. So yeah, the blue machines are out in force today after a bit of a Williams tribute going on, isn't it, Alex?
Yeah, it's a nice tribute by a few of the drivers towards Frank Williams. It's Sabrosa in one of those tribute cars. Big opposite lock moment over the corner as he's chasing down Stalker Brown in 3rd place, so he'll be after a podium because he'll be wanting 3rd place in the championship. We see Stu now. Lee, no, he's in 3rd place. He's got Wolf up ahead of him, so Roger and D-Man ahead of a couple of GT5s, so that shows how chaotic the first lap was. We see McEvs now looks like he's had a moment in the background. Oh no, he's still going. So another car's had a moment. It might be Free Gazelle because he's back down in 12th, so it's not going well for him around here. So we got Sam going through on Twingo Tastic. It was a good move there by Sam.
Yeah, it's one of the good overtaking spots on this circuit there into that corner as they go through the fast sweepers now. Let's see if Twingo Tastic can stay in that slipstream and follow all the way through to the final corner, where is another excellent overtaking spot. Back with the leaders there back with the leaders now of the juniors, I think, is it? Oh no, Rogers just up ahead. We've got D-Man and Stewart battling away though very closely. There's a big gap in the juniors then, of 6 seconds or so, back to Scuderia Sam, who had a bad start. So we'll have to wait and see if that gap closes down or not. But Roger the Dodger's got a nice little lead there, a few car lengths over this battling pair, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's really just stormed up. It's 2 seconds to D-Man, but that's still a good gap around you because it's quite hard to close up. Oh, that's very close for Stalker Brown. They're almost rotating it, but he held it together. You can see he's pushing hard, trying to get hold of Chris, and Chris won't want to fall back too far, especially with Alex in first, and he's 3 seconds behind him now, going on almost to 4 seconds, and he's got a hard chasing Stalker Brown going on to him, so could be a tough race this for Chris.
Yeah, Chris Doherty championship leader at the moment, but only by 1 point over Alex, so he really does need these points. Otherwise, if they finish like this, Alex will be the new championship leader with 2 races to go, so it really is all to play for. Every point counts when it gets to this stage of the season, doesn't it? And Stuart Davis knows that too in his battle with Scuderia Sam for the championship, and misses apex a little bit there as he's trying hard to catch D-Man. But we have seen Roger and D-Man have really come on song in the second part of this season particularly. They really are taking the fight, aren't they, to Stuart Davis and Scuderia Sam, who got a little bit of an advantage earlier on in the season. And Roger the Dodger particularly, he's had a couple of dominant wins recently, and he looks like he's going that way again today.
Yeah, he's been really good. It's a shame he's missed a few rounds because he could have been right up there with Stu and Sam for the junior championship. He's really gotten on with these juniors, and same with D-Man, he's missed a few. So he's another top contender, so he might be going for 3rd or 4th place now in the championship. But like I said, it's a bit of a shame they missed a few, but they've really shown their pace here today.
Yeah, and let's not forget McGee. He had a bad start today to Luke McGee, as we see Free Gazelle now in the pit lane. He's coming to the exit of the pits, is he? Or is that him entering the pits? I think it's entering the pits, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the start. It's quite an awful pit lane because you go around the hairpin on the outside, so it feels like forever when you pit. And some of the drivers are talking about taking tyres. I think it's way too early for Free Gazelle to take tyres because he's taking the earliest possible moment to pit. So maybe trying to just get the pits out the way as we see Stu. He didn't hold these around and these into the barriers. That's huge. Pushing hard, trying to get hold of Demon. That's allowed Scuderia Sam through. And you see Stu has to reset, just try and get back on the track. But that's huge for the championship.
Yeah, Stuart Davis there, just over-rotating the car a little bit. It's a very tricky corner, that. The car goes light over the hill, over the curb there, and it easily unsettles the car, and that's what happened to Stuart Davis. But it's a long way to go still in this championship. And as you were talking about tyres there, it's a good opportunity to mention the fact that the outside left front tyre is really screaming, isn't it, in this track, with so many of those long, fast corners. Yeah,
and all the fastest ones seem to be right-handers, all the left-handers are only short, quick ones like this one. It's only a short left into a long, sweeping right. As you see Loopy now chasing down McEvs and Twingo, so this could be chaos. And we see D-Man, and I think that's Alex around the outside. That's brave. D-Man getting out of the way, doesn't want to cause anything.
That was Stuart Davis, was it?
Oh yeah, it was Stu. What's happened to D-Man then?
Yeah, I think D-Man's had an error, I think, in the fast sweepers. I think he got a little bit of a swapper on, and that's allowed Stu through, and Scuderia Sam as well.
That's disastrous for D-Man. Hopefully you get a replay of that. But this is going to help Stu definitely. But obviously Sam up ahead isn't ideal. But there's less points to lose now. But yeah, that's quite interesting to see what happened there.
Yeah, Scuderia Sam just probably thought it was his birthday or something. He was gifted those points there. See Stu there sliding out of that corner. You can really see from the onboard here with D-Man how hilly this track is. Look, over the hill again, blinds, apex, blind corners, over that hill now where the car goes really light. Just waiting to get on the throttle, especially in the GT5s, so they can't really floor it around some of these corners like the juniors can. But yeah, really challenging circuit for the drivers. It really is probably one of the most difficult circuits on the calendar of the championship, I would say, Alex.
Yeah, it's super tricky to see. It looks like Chris is in 5th place, so you have to imagine he's pitted. This is Stalker Brown now pitting, so he's going for an overcut, so try and come out in front of Chris, and it looks like it's worked beautifully. Yeah, Chris is at the final corner, and Stalker Brown's still in 3rd place, comes out miles ahead of him. Oh no, he's still in the pits.
Well, it's going to be close, mate. He's still in. You can see how long this pit lane is. Where is Chris Doherty? He'll appear on the right of the screen at some point, I'd imagine, in that bright green car. You can't miss him. There he is, coming now up the hill. And Stalker Brown, no, he hasn't quite got the speed. Ooh. And Chris Doherty sweeps through into turn 2 there, up the hill, and just ahead of Stalker Brown. You couldn't be much closer than that, could it? And now he's got his mirrors full of this white machine. And Stalker Brown would be desperate to try and get past here. Oh, and Chris Doherty's gone a little bit wide. Oh, and he's spinning now before he gets to the apex of that corner as it goes over the hill. And Stalker Brown says, thank you, I will take that position. So, yeah, fantastic by Stalker Brown there. And unfortunately for Chris, it just got a little bit of an error when it really mattered.
Yeah, well held though. He kept it from fully spinning. It was just like a hot little half spin. Hopefully Stu will be repeating this, as this looks like it could be a good battle. We've got going through this tricky. You can see just how blind it is and off-cambered as well, and that's what's really unsettling a lot of the drivers on board now into the NASCAR section. It's quite easy. There's a big cut of the corner there. There's no track limits on that corner on the outside, and maybe a bit of track limits on the inside, but I think you get some.
That's a nasty curb there too on the inside, isn't it?
Yeah, they're all nasty curbs around here. They either spin you out or they flick you up in the air, so you've got to be really careful.
Yeah, let's hope nobody's going to be going airborne today. But oh, yeah, that curb there, you could just see unsettle Stewart's car. But he did get a nice entry then into the right-hander, so he's got a really good run here on D-Man. But he needs to try and stay with him into the real overtaking opportunity, which is the last corner here. And he's stuck with him really nicely through that corner, just about hanging onto the car. It's just about full throttle in the Junior. He's looking for the inside line. D-Man knows he's there, and he's covered it nicely. Stu Davis goes for the outside now. Is he going to try and switch back or stick it around the outside? The car's bogged down terribly here, the Juniors do, and he's got a lovely cutback. But yeah, just bogged down a little bit too much for his liking, and D-Man holds that position for now. Great little battle going on.
Yeah, really good. I think, like I said, with the gearing of that, if you tried to go for that cutback, you can't get the drive out, and it just shows the advantage here. But Stu seems to have the definite advantage over that last section over D-Man. It might be worth trying a Terry-esque dive and just sending it.
Yeah, take a leaf out of Terry's book, isn't it? Oh, Stuart Davis, he is Mr. Lunge, actually. He is known as Mr. Lunge, so I'm sure D-Man knows that. He's been racing long enough now with him. You can see D-Man got a really nice exit of that corner. Oh, is this Alex CDL now? I think he's made his pit stop because he's down to second. Big Bad Wolf now is in the pit lane in that very familiar bright yellow car. His teammate, Crash and Bash teammate, BTC Zidane, not with us today, of course. And who's this now? Loopy McGee and...
Twingo.
Is that Twingo, is it? Yeah, really good battle. And look, Makev's in the background too, so a really good three-way scrap here. And Luke McGee's looking around the outside. Twingo's got the inside line. Really needs to avoid that curb there, and they both do. And Twingo's run really wide here. Luke McGee's going to have an excellent exit out of this corner, with Makev's keeping a really close watching brief to see what happens. And surely these two aren't going to go side by side through here, are they?
It looks like they're thinking about it. And coming together, let's go allow Makev's to go on the inside. Loopy going wide. Can't see where the other car is. It looks like Twingo alongside him, and McKev's around the outside of him. Loopy getting squeezed out, he has to back out, and McKev's going around taking two of them. And Loopy looking on the inside of Twingo. Twingo looks like he's going to try and cover off, but I think it's too late. Loopy's going to go on the inside. Will he go heavy on the brake? He's diving down. Will he make the corner? Twingo goes around the outside. He's holding position. They said it's going to be terrible bogging down now, so where does he come? Looks like Loopy got the better exit, and he goes through.
What an incredible bit of racing and overtake as well from Makev's there. Two cars in one corner, and you could see him. He was just stalking the both of them, wasn't he? Waiting for his opportunity, and he took it, which is hard to do in these juniors. You can't exactly put your foot down, and you just have to hope for the best. And that's Stuart Davis there, just ahead of Free Gazelle. So Free Gazelle's trying to lap these guys by the looks of it.
No, that's what position.
I think he's just made his pit. Oh yeah, you are right. I think he's just made his pit stop then, has he?
No, he made his pit stop at lap 3. I think he's just got a few mistakes at the moment, and he's trying to make his way through the juniors. You can see Stu knows it's not his battle. Let him through, yes, and he'll probably hope that D-Man has to slow down a bit to let Free Gazelle through, especially at this bit.
Yeah, no offence intended, Free Gazelle. Didn't realise he was still battling with juniors on lap 8. But anyway, he's making his way through now. He's got obviously superior power in that car, and right around the outside of D-Man there and through the fast sweepers. And I think he's on his way now, but he's got a bit of a gap, hasn't he, to Big Bad Wolf there?
Yeah, bit of a gap. He's still got to get through Roger, who's 5th place, so he's ahead of a couple of GT5s, and back in the battle for 11th place now. be looking on the inside of McEvs. McEvs will have the advantage on this fast sweeper. Both have to back out a bit. McEvs takes it, squeezes him, leaves him a nice amount of room. That's fair racing from McEvs. So this is going loud. Twingo looks on the inside of McEvs, concentrating on Loopy here. We want to see the cars behind where they are. Loopy goes very deep. That allows McEvs to go through with Twingo and all this. It looks like he overshot a bit, but that's McEvs back through on Loopy, so the battle continues.
Yeah, really good scrap now as they head over to complete another lap here. They're going to be coming on lap 9 now, I think. Yeah, lap 9 of 20, so pretty much halfway. And he's looking for the inside line to turn 1, but it's turn 2 where he can really maybe make a move. And Alex CDL now is closing in on this battle. Oh, he's going to really hold up Alex CDL here. He comes through. Loopy McGee's round. Loopy McGee is round there, just a slight bit of contact, and that's disadvantage McEvs too. So can Twingo make up some ground here? He had a poor final corner, as he said, Alex. And Twingo, where's Twingo? Yeah, he's up ahead of McEvs now as well, and that's McEvs off the roads. It's all kicking off here as Alex CDL is on his way. He was lucky to avoid all that carnage, I think. There, and Stalker Brown's not far behind now. Look, Stalker Brown tangling with his teammate there, with Twingo Tastic.
Yeah, I don't think he realised he was there. I think he was going to dive to the right to get out of the way, but Stalker Brown had the same idea, so they both went to the opposite barrier, but both got out of it. Luckily, the most drivers are on communication, so they'll be able to speak to each other. See Freegazel now just have to chase down Roger. He's the last unit to get past, and then he's back with his normal field. And it looks like the battle for knife rages on between Stu and D-Man. D-Man has a bit of advantage over Stu, but you never know with these. They've had a couple of mistakes so far, but no, that's dropped them back down the field. But hopefully it won't be too long till they've caught up with each other.
Yeah, the juniors is a bit spread out really, apart from the battling trio, of course, of Twingo, McEvs and McG. So Twingo get involved in a muck battle there. We've seen a few muck battles, haven't we, this championship? And Freegazel get ever so close there to the barrier on the outside of that corner. And that barrier, as the tyres wear out, is going to be coming closer and closer to the drivers, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. That's the reason they allow no track limits on the outside, because you can try and push as hard as you want, but as the tyres go, you're going to lose grip, and that tyre barrier becomes a massive hazard towards you. And if you hit that, that's loads of time and momentum gone, as we see Skidderoo Sam going for it. It's quite weird seeing him in the blue livery, but it is for a special reason, like we said. So it's quite a nice, if weird, difference for him from the usual red livery. As we see Stu really wringing the neck out of that junior around that corner. He likes sliding it, but you have to imagine that's going to be putting a lot of stress on his tyres pushing this hard, and towards the end of the race it's might cause a lot of grip loss as he gets out of the way of his teammate. Probably ask his teammate to give him a hand, try and slow D-Man out of the way, but they both have their own races. Championships aren't won yet, and you see Alex does squeeze him a bit. That might have had to, D-Man might have had to get off the throttle there, but it was close, maybe a bit naughty, but they're carrying on.
Someone we haven't talked about at all is Subrosa, who had a little bit of a tangle, I think, at the start possibly, but he's all the way back up to 3rd now, and he's ahead of Chris Doherty as well by a good margin, so Subrosa's had a fantastic comeback, so keep an eye on him. But Luke McGee is in 12th, he's still battling with McEvs. Look, it's a never-ending battle, this one, and they're now 3 seconds behind Twingo Tastic, so he's opened up a lead. And Luke McGee outbreaks himself, and what a dive from McEvs there, but he's disadvantaged his exit by doing that, so he took all the speed on the way in for no speed on the way out pretty much, and looked like he was just trying to take out Luke McGee there, but he's in the barrier! McEvs is in the barrier, how did that happen? I wish we could see a replay of that, but I think, 2 into that corner, didn't really go, he just clipped the barrier ever so slightly, and, well, his car looks like it's been on Wreckfest now instead, but McGee will be looking in his mirrors thinking, where did he go?
Yeah, it looked like he had a loose back end coming out that corner somehow, and it just ended up with him in the barrier. See, Alex now, I think he's got past Sam, I have to say. Yeah, past Sam, just carrying on 10-second lead, so he can afford to be a bit careful now. But like I said, Subrosa up to 3rd, but the big story in all this, Chris 4th, and it's not ideal for him because he'll lose a lot of points now if this stays the way it is. We see Stalker Brown going on the inside of Stu, and Stu looks like he closed up to D-Man there, but he had to get out of the way, and this is ideal for D-Man because he gets overtaken on the straight where Stu had to compromise his line, so that's going to cost him a bit of time. But like I was saying, this is quite big for the championship in regards to GT5, because that's a big points difference between Chris and Alex in this race.
Yeah, it absolutely is, and let's not forget the Team Spin versus Team Islands Teams Championship as well, because you've got Alex versus Chris, and you've got D-Man versus Stu as well. So this is a really important for the teams and the drivers championships, isn't it? And I was just looking at Stalker Brown there. He seemed a bit desperate to get past Stuart Davis, so I think he's still got aspirations here of catching Alex CDL. His lap times haven't been particularly great recently. He's fallen back to 12 seconds behind now, but Stalker Brown certainly hasn't given up, and they got another 7 laps left, so it's a while to go yet. And with the tyres going off, and we have to wait and see who's taking on tyres, but with the tyres going off, it'll be interesting to see what effect that has on the drivers.
Yeah, and as we know, Alex likes a spin incident. He was good at Ruapuna at the last round, but it's always there as we see Scuderia Sam getting out the way of Stalker Brown there. You see easily up on the inside. Quite brave going up on that corner. You have to be careful of the closing speed as the juniors do. Even though they're full throttle, it's pretty much like half throttle compared to the GT5s. You see D-Man's not too far away from Scuderia Sam. He was almost a second faster that last lap, 133, but Sam's improved his speed, has he? Well, 134, what's D-Man doing? 132, so that's 2 seconds faster there. They're closing in on Scuderia Sam at this pace.
Yeah, if they continue that sort of pace, they certainly will be. What's Roger doing? He's in the 33, so these two are actually the fastest 2 cars on the circuit at the moment, in terms of the juniors anyway. So yeah, really watch this space now. They could close that gap completely. It's only, what is it, like, it's less than 10 seconds, isn't it? Yeah, it's only 8 seconds, 7 seconds or so. And let's look at McGee going very deep there. I think he's just getting out of the way of
that's Wolf.
Who's that? Wolf, that's right, Wolf going through. But look at this now, Twingo-tastic is not far ahead at all of McGee. Twingo-tastic had a 138 the last time around, McGee a 135, so close in 3 seconds.
Yeah, and you can see Loopy putting all of his dirt rally experience in, drifting the car out of the last hairpin. he's really on it, and you can see he's enjoying this.
Wide.
Yeah, that's really wide from Twingo. Loopy going on the inside. That's going to put him on the outside for this corner, but obviously inside line for the next one. Will he go for it? He's going around the outside. That's very brave. He'll have to use the curb. He uses a bit of it. Forces Twingo a bit wide, but that's an amazing move by Loopy. Great driving there.
Wow, incredible manoeuvre from the Scotsman. The Flying Scotsman takes that position away in one of the most treacherous corners of the circuit, but fair play to Twingo-tastic too, because he did his part in making sure there was no contact there. I think a lot of drivers would have just closed that gap, to be honest, and they both would have come to blows and maybe ended up in the barrier with a few missing body panels and whatnot. But yeah, great driving from both of them not to have contact through there. And the battle continues.
Yeah, battle keeps going. Shame McGee's fallen back a bit now. He's over 10 seconds. You see your GT5 leader closing in on that battle now, so you have to be careful. That's Twingo. Ooh, going on the inside of Twingo. Twingo, good avoidance there. He's quite wide stab. He goes very wide, keeps his foot in, as you can imagine, and acts through on Loopy then. Going a bit deep, is it? No, quite nice getting the corner and carrying on. He's leads up to 17 seconds now, so I think he's pulled a bit of a gap now for Stalker Brown, who'll probably be happy for second.
Yeah, as we ride on boards with Alex EDL, who's absolutely dominating this race, as he has a couple of races recently. He's really found his groove after struggling earlier on in the season with a few errors, but now he's really hit his stride, hasn't he, when it matters, and he's put himself in a really good position, especially with Chris down there in 4th and off the pace a bit today, it has to be said. Alex EDL is really in a good position for this championship right now, but a couple of rounds to go still, and he needs to keep it on the road to make sure he capitalises. See that barrier there? Oh, look how close they get to that barrier, and the GT5s, it comes at you so quickly. Down now into second gear, I think this corner is, cutting the curb but not touching it as they head off through the sweepers. Will we stay on board for the sweepers? No, we won't. But yeah, great little on board to show how hard Alex EDL is pushing, but it looks like he's all under control at the moment. It looks like he could go a little bit quicker if he wanted.
That sounds like a commentator's curse there, saying he's all under control, especially with Alex.
That's true, actually. I mean, he's on Team Spin for a reason.
Yeah, luckily it's not been much spinning for those two this race, especially for Stu as well. He's had a few incidents lately, but I think that's self-inflicted with other drivers. You see Stalker Brown here, nice second. He's got a 16-second gap there. Going a bit wide, you don't want to be doing that because it can spin the car, especially as you're powering out the corner. But 16-second gap to Subrosa in 3rd, so I think the top three are pretty much settled now for GT5. You see your leader for juniors, Roger. He's had a quiet race on his own, just got on with it and pulled away nicely.
Yeah, Roger's probably wondering where on earth all the other juniors are, to be honest, at this rate. He's had a constant 10-second gap or so over Scuderia Sam, but I think over the last sort of 5 laps he's actually edged that out a little bit. So, yeah, pretty much, it's pretty stale at the moment, actually, in terms of the junior front-running drivers, the gaps to each other. So, where's the next battle coming from, Al? Where do we see it?
Hopefully, Loopy McGee and Twingo, that's a great little battle when it was going. I think D-Man's just pulled slightly away from Stu, even though Stu did have the faster final lap. There's a 3-second gap between them, so there might have been a little error somewhere along the last couple of laps. To see Chris now in 4th, not ideal for him championship wise. That's a good 4 points off what Alex will receive at the end of this race if it stays like this.
Yeah, and his last lap time, Alex, which is what he's talking here, is a 1:33, so that's like junior pace. So Chris must have had a terrible error on the last lap. He lost 10 seconds or so.
He's showing 1:33. It says 1:24 on my screen.
Yeah, the last lap. The lap before, sorry.
Oh, right.
1:33 it was.
Apologies. Yeah, it might have been just a little spin there. Ooh, that was very close to Stu. They're going around the outside. 2 wheels on the grass, don't want that. Goes wide. Very close to the barrier, like they're all pushing and risking it. But yeah, it might have been a little instant. You see Wolf was a 1:30 as well, so not probably a race to forget for Chris, you'll have to imagine.
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget, it was only a couple of races ago he had an absolute dominant race. I think it was at Sakito, wasn't it? The second race of Sakito, he dominated that one, and he was in with a chance of winning the other Sakito race too, in a close battle with Sabrosa, and Sabrosa finally won that race, I think, after a great final lap pass. But yeah, Chris Doherty, he's well, the last couple of races haven't been too kind to him, but you can never count him out, can you? He's a real life racing driver as well, so I'm sure he's just pacing himself until the right moment, and he'll unleash his pace once again. But talking about unleashing pace, D-Man rather, he's opened up a bit of a gap here, 4 seconds now to Stuart Davis. That was quite a close battle not so long ago.
Yeah, but have you noticed what Chris is doing? He knows he's not close and he's holding his pace in front of D-Man. I think he's given a bit of a cheeky slipstream along the front stretch there.
It does seem like it, doesn't it? Good teammates, these two. Of course, they never seem to tend... I don't want to put a commentator's curse on it, but they never tend to crash into each other much.
No, it definitely seems to be good. But look in the background, Stu's teammate Alex is here, so I wonder if he'll get the benefit, but I don't think they work as well.
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see now. This will be a direct comparison, won't it? Oh, getting very close to the barrier there, D-Man. And let's see what happens with these two. Stuart Davis getting close to the barrier as well. I'm just wondering whether those junior tyres are screaming more than the GT5s in that corner, judging by what we just saw there.
I think, especially with Stuart, the way he's sliding that car around, he's not very forgiving, but yeah, I think it's a case of, oh, that's D-Man off, he's into the barrier. Oh, that's huge. Stu will go past now unless he collide. Oh, that's... D-Man just gets out of the way, but I think all that nice slipstreams will come to nothing now. That's him around and back down into... What's that, 3rd place now? No, sorry, 4th place in the juniors.
Ah, such a shame from D-Man there. He had it all under control seemingly, but that's how quickly things can change in this championship, because all the drivers are so close on pace. One error can put you down a couple of positions, can't it? And Stuart Davis there, nice free couple of points for him, so he won't be complaining much. As Alex CDL now gets past...
That's Chris.
Is that Chris? He's lapping Chris. Wow, his championship rivalry just lapped.
Yeah, that's...
So we now look... The very fast cameraman alongside on the victory lap, has to be said, because he's so far ahead. Yeah,
that's a bit of a definitely a message of intent when it comes to the championship, as he's just behind Loopy, it looks like. I think he's just holding either gloating that he's in front of Chris or just waiting for the ideal moment to get past him, because he doesn't want to compromise the juniors race.
Yeah, saying that, he nearly put Loopy McGee in the tyre barrier there. Alex Edel's so bored, he's now decided to bully the juniors as well once he's had it. But yeah, coming through the sweep, it's going to be an absolute dominant win from Alex here, assuming he can keep it on the road, assuming he hasn't saved up all his spins for the last couple of corners. But yeah, going through there on Makevs as well. Makevs leaves plenty of room for him. Alex Didiel now on his way, and surely this is going to be a nice, easy win pretty much. After the first corner, I don't think first lap, he pretty much didn't see anyone after that, did he? Braking hard now into the last corner, and his lap times really dropped off, so I think he's just cruising, bringing it home on the power now, and Chris Doherty won't even be staying around to watch this, I don't think. I think he'll just be hanging back and being like, yeah, I don't want to see it.
Yeah, see flashing the lights, and through for your Sonoma GT5 winner. With we see Roger now just ahead of him, so there's another lap for the juniors to go through. So he'll probably enjoy this now with I think that's either Stalker Brown or Twingo ahead. See Scuderia Sam now, he's finished. A few donuts. Oh, that's not very aware there, hitting Wolf as he there's bodywork over. You can tell it's the end of the race.
Yeah, the drivers do this, don't they? They have a bit of a sort of post-race party, which tends to involve a lot of expensive repairs for the mechanics, the virtual mechanics.
Yeah, they have. Half the grid. It looks like he's coming up to lap Twingo now, but or is that Stalker Brown? I know. Oh, into the back. That's Roger almost around. That's not good. He's still got a lap to do.
Interestingly though, because all the other Scuderia Sam's crossed the line already, he's second. He was second in the juniors, so Roger the Dodger's actually a lap ahead. He'll be a lap ahead, so no matter what happens here, he'll be ahead of those guys.
Oh, that's handy. So he won't be effing and blinding too much with that little incident. But right in the curb, that's you can tell he's just taking it easy now. Last corner, heavy braking. You definitely see the difference between Junior and GT5. When it comes to that corner, just how much slower they have to take it. Last little kink now, easy enough to do. Don't think he'll mess it up. And coming through,
we're saying that Makevs did.
Yeah, that's true. But coming through, your junior winner, Roger the Dodger.
Yeah, GT5 confirmation. Alex Didiel, well, we said it already. Dominant win. Stalker Brown in second. A really good race from Stalker Brown. He's really upped his game, hasn't he? This championship, with Sabrosa taking third, Chris fourth there, and then in the juniors it was Roger the Dodger with an almost equally dominant win. Scuderia Sam second. A bit of a lonely race for those two, and then Stuart Davis and D-Man had a bit of a battle before D-Man spun on the last lap, and then Luke McGee finally edged Tringo Tastic and Makevs. So really good battle between those three. I think that was the most enjoyable battle for me actually. That race, it was great fun to watch that.
Yeah, those two are brilliant having their little battle. But coming to the drivers' standards now, Alex Seedale takes the GT5 championship lead with 71 points to 6-7 of Chris Doherty then. With Sabrosa up to third now ahead of Frigazol, so it's all moving in GT5. With Wolf in fifth, Stalker Brown in sixth, Cherry Berry seventh, Christian eighth, and Stu Point ninth, and then Stu with only 2 points in the juniors from Scuderia Sam.
Yeah, and also in the midfield in the juniors, there's only 3 points separating Roger the Dodger, D-Man and Luke McGee as well. So it really is all to play for. Fantastic fighting all through the grid, all through the field. And in the team standings, Team Spin, I think, extended their lead there over Team Island. So Team Island really do need to get a move on now in the next round if they are to take that title fight down to the last race. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. And next time, where are we next time? Nürburgring, isn't it, Al?
Yeah, Nürburgring short circuit.
Yeah, that'll be entertaining, as all the races are. So thank you for watching from myself and Alex, and see you next time.